Welcome back. Today we're talking about hearing aids again from Flysound. Talking about the H9 and the HA version. So we're gonna go over each version I have right here, see what they look like in my ears, talk about how these two are different, and basically how these two stand out from other hearing aids that are out there. What options that I have that are different. And there are some differences out there. And then we'll talk about who these hearing aids are for, what my opinion is, who they're for. If you're new here, Scott's Reviews. I do speaker camera reviews. And then now I'm getting into the hearing aids review. I got into this because my mom needs hearing aids and she tends to lose them a lot. These are more, I think, tailored for her and her generation. Maybe having a little memory issues, that kind of stuff like that. And they tend to lose stuff. The last video I just did on Serval hearing aids and more of the bud style. I think that's not her style at all. I think that's more for a younger crowd, maybe my age in the 50s and 60s. They're used to wearing some type of Bluetooth music device in their ears. And so it kind of plays along with the same generation of that, of, hey, I've always worn buds in my ear and now I have these. These are an older style of hearing aid with the added benefit of some luxury features. So let's talk about that. All right, first up, the H8. These are hearing aids that are more traditional, that have the wired that goes inside your ear right here, and the back piece that goes right there. And then the H9 are more of a running style of bud or device that you put in your ear for music and stuff, or Bluetooth. And as soon as you put them in, they work. So they're already doing their job. So the cases are basically the same. It has the remote control, and we'll get into the remote control. It's one of the features that are different than most other hearing aids. When it comes to sound quality, the ones with a wire are rated a little bit higher, 60 decibels versus 55 decibels of strength and raising. So there's a difference, but it's very, very small. What I do like about sound-wise, it doesn't have that shock effect. So some hearing aids you put on, you do this, and it's like jarring. It's like so much sound going in. The AI feature has noise reduction, so it's gonna kind of bring that down so it's not so shocking. So it kind of like just feels like there's something in your ear. And depending on what volume you have is how much I pick up from the surrounding area. And then when it comes to the number of channels, there's like 50 channels that you can use to operate in, which gives it a more of a dynamic range of which channel to pick to have the less interference. The cases themselves have a airing out feature. So it allows the hearing aids to be kind of aired out. So if you run with these or you sweat, which you probably will, or a little greasy, you put them in and the cases themselves have holes, and it kind of is a way to air out and dry overnight. They say overnight with a 2-hour charge, they'll dry out your hearing aids, which is a nice feature to have. Both of these hearing aids prevent that whistling sound so when I'm touching this right now, I'm getting no of that squeaky kind of like interference feedback you get. So all it feels like is like I'm rubbing over a speaker right now. So none of that. So when you take them out and you rub them or drop them, I got nothing. So as I'm putting it in right now, I'm not getting that. Each one comes with a remote feature, and I'll go over the cords here in a second to explain why it has a little notch. But it allows you to adjust your hearing aids volume-wise and the mode right from the device itself. I wouldn't take this out and just kind of like have it separately. I would leave it in the case, and when you put your buds in, adjust it from right here, or attach it to the lanyard and use it that way. This is a very easy thing that you would lose. So you kind of want to keep it with the case. So there's a couple different things on board to prevent losing these earbuds. Number one is going to be the anti-loss cords, they call them. These cords here, there's 2 different styles in each. So you get 2 to choose from. One is kind of like very simple. It's just for the hearing aids. There's a small screw at the bottom here that you'll screw into. It screws right into the bottom of the hearing aid, and then you have it attached. So you can put it around your neck, let them hang like that. That's something you want. The other cord also incorporates the ability to hang the remote control. So it's got a little clip, and that kind of goes toward the back. So I would kind of put this on like that, And then I could attach my hearing aids right here. Then I have the remote control right here. If I want to adjust as I go, I could put that in my shirt here and then have this out, put it in my ear. Because if you're, some folks probably like me will wear these hearing aids and all of a sudden I don't want to wear them anymore. I want to take them out. I'll kind of want these I can pull out and just drop and hang, and then they're right there, and put them back in when I need them. Also, keep them attached. Then when you are done with them and you want to hang them somewhere, let's say you have a little hook on the wall in your room, you can hang them right there in your room. That way you don't lose it and everything is right here. Or you can put them back in your case and lay them down and let them charge. And it's hard to lose stuff when you have things attached to it, right? Easier to find. So that's one way to prevent losing these buds. The second way, it has a feature on this remote at the bottom. The button at the bottom is basically to find these. Now it doesn't play a sound. I kind of wish it did play a sound like your AirPods does. You hit it and it lights up a light. So it's a blue light, it'll light up. Can't find them, you can lower the lights in your room. If it's somewhere visible, these things will start flashing and you can see it. If it's inside of your purse, you can look in your purse and maybe you'll see something blue flashing at the bottom of your purse and you can find it that way. It's another way to try to find these. Also, I'm going to show you the app later on, but within the app, it brings up a map showing the exact location they were last. One way is the map, other way is with the button, finding them, and this is the other way to keep it attached to this so you don't lose them. Let's talk about using these things on a day-to-day. So as soon as you take them out and you put them in your ears, like I said before, they work, which is great. As soon as you take them out, it goes into sleep mode. So it knows when they're in your ear. It'll go into sleep mode, which will help save the battery on these things. So with the battery, it's like 14 hours they advertise of use. So in your ear kind of use. Of course, if you have a higher volume, you may lose some of that. So probably the mid-level volume. And then with the case, you could do basically 48 hours. So you can wear them, recharge them, wear them again, and it'll total around 48 hours of use. It also has quick charge, so if you need a quick charge, you can throw them into the case for like 15 minutes or so and get a couple of hours of use right away if you need that. Both of these are IP68 waterproof, not the case, but the earbuds themselves. So IP68 is here, that's what that means. So maybe if you left these in your pants and you wash these, you may have a chance for it to survive. But if you drop them in the sink, splash on them, run with them, get in the rain, all that kind of stuff, they'll be okay. So how I describe the feel of these, what feels more comfortable, these do feel more comfortable. It just has a very easy on and off, kind of like, and more like I can't hurt these. I can throw them off, get rid of them, then pop them back in. Like they're not gonna hurt, they easily go back in with this forming right there. These are more your traditional, so you kind of need to be a little more careful with this cord. You don't bend it. I'll get it all, pull on it hard. It kind of leaves its form. So I'll be a little more careful with this. I know people like this more because it's less visible. You can see these, you can look at it in two different ways. You can look at it like, hey, these look more today's style, or more like a running style of bud that you wear to listen to your music. Or you can look at it and say that looks like an old school hearing aid. So it's kind of like how you interpret whatever you interpret. Which one would I go for? Probably this one if I'm older, just because I know it's I don't care too much about how it looks. I just want it to work and I don't want to lose it. This one my mom's gonna like more because it doesn't show, not to be seen like having a hearing aid. I'm glad these over-the-counter hearing aids are out. They're less expensive than the old days when things were $7,000, $4,000, $3,000, outrageously expensive, and then you lose them and they're out. I think these are great. I put the cost here, how much they cost. Look for any sales that are out there. Check the links below Amazon and direct with them to find the best deal you can find. Now we're gonna go into the app next. Let's look at the app and see what that's all about. All right, this is the home screen of the app. All right, this is where you go to do the fitting. So this is where you do a hearing test. I did one earlier. It goes through all the different decibel levels with each ear, where you hear it or don't hear it. And it does a pretty good job of testing. Even when you say you can't hear it, it kind of makes sure by increasing the volume a little bit. If you hear that, then it drops it down a little bit just to make sure, but it goes through both sides and then saves that to the hearing aids. Here's your main screen where it's pretty simple, which is great. It tells you the battery life of each hearing aid, your volume control, you can adjust the volume here, then your switch scene. So basically you have smart, where it does all on its own. It's kind of like auto. It picks the environment you're in and kind of adjusts your hearing aids that way. That's the setting that I will leave it in mostly. And then noisy with a high reduction, outdoor, medium, indoor, with also a high. You can adjust that within the noise reduction level. And that's all. It's really quick and easy. And then inside of your settings here, this is where you can go in and also see that last location of where your devices were via the Bluetooth in your phone. That's how it gathers that information. And then your remote fitting, your history, and you can do a factory reset, or if there's a new version out there, so where you update the software. The H9 has the rubber all the way around, and the H8 has that little small wire that goes in. They both come with remote controls. They both have drying cases. They both come with 2 cords. They have all the little attachments inside of the box for different size of buds that go inside of your ear to get a proper fit. It has cleaning tools. You can clean them out as they get dirty with wax and stuff like that. USB-C charging, there's a cord inside to charge these bad boys up. If you don't want to use the remote to change the volume, you can still use the back of the device. So there's a button back here you will click. Now, there's no up and down rocker. You're kind of like stepping through a ladder. So you'll hear it. I'm hearing beeps every time I click it. I can tell that it's getting louder. I can hear more sound. Then when it goes beep, beep, you reach the top of that ladder. It's loud right now. And then from there, it's going to take me down that ladder. I heard beep, beep. So that ladder's pretty long. So it gives you a lot of options of where you want to be. And then, so basically you're going up and down. The only way you know whether you're going up or down is to basically listen. Is it getting where you can't hear, or is it getting louder? That's basically it. Easier way to do it is from the remote, and the next way would be from the app. But if you don't have that all in front of you, all you're wearing is the hearing aids, then you can use the back button. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.